Welcome to this edition of the Houndsman XP podcast, and spring is in the air for sure. That means that all of the breed organizations are hosting their annual events. Great gatherings of great people. Whether you're in the West, support your field trials out there, support your state organizations, and go and share some hunting stories. Get ready for another full year of hunting. If you're in the East, that means coon dog events. That means English days, blue tick days, Plott days, black and tan days, all of those great historic events. Don't pass up the opportunity to support a breed organization that is supporting your interest. And for this special edition of the Houndsman XP podcast, we are going to talk to David Williams with the American Plott Association, and they are going to be hosting their annual breed days at Greenville, Tennessee on the weekend of May 15th. So that's 2 weeks from now while you're hearing this podcast. Make your plans to go down there. If you're a bear hunter in the East, do yourself a favor and go to this huge bear hunters rendezvous. It's at a great location. The grounds are great. And the American Plott Association is all about chasing big critters with brindle dogs. And it doesn't matter, bring your other dogs with you as well, your breed dogs. There's going to be open bays. There's all kinds of stuff. But I had the opportunity to sit down with David and a couple buddies of his at the Wisconsin Bear Hunters Association annual convention, and we caught up and we talked about bear hunting. We talked about all kinds of stuff. You're really going to enjoy this episode. Before we get too far down the line, I forgot to announce our drawing winner for our contest we had at our 100th episode. And I want to give a shout out to John Case. John, thanks for your review on Apple Podcasts. I just want to tell you that that's what drives the ratings and different things in podcasting is reviews, whether it's Spotify or you go on to Apple Podcasts, wherever you can leave a review for us, we would really appreciate it. And John, we appreciate you taking the time to leave that great review and emailing that to me and helping us out. So, John, you're going to get the prize package. I think there's paws are protected, some Houndsman XP gear, and a few other items that we're going to be sending your way for getting involved in that contest. So I really appreciate that. The next big announcement is Houndsman XP gear is now available on the Dogs Are Treed website. We've got 2 hats there, new releases. Go to dogsartreed.com and check them out. And if you use the promo code HXP 20% off at checkout, you can add a hat to your entire order that you make over there at Dogs Are Treed. Great people, great service, and we could really use your support, and we would appreciate your support. So go to dogsartreed.com, check out the Houndsman XP gear there, and we're going to be adding some items to that as we go along and developing that storefront there with Dogs Are Treed. Great partnership there. On the legislative front, things are winding down and things are getting really quiet. What I want to tell you, though, is now is the time to prepare for next year. We've talked about this a million times, but if you're seeing an announcement on Facebook about a bill that's in the House or in your state legislature, you're probably way behind in the foot race there. So make sure you're preparing now, making contact with those representatives, and building those relationships so that they know who you are and what your name is and what we're all about. So don't have a lot of updates for you. Hopefully that's good news. Hopefully everything's going to die in committee that was out there. And Lauren has been keeping everybody up to date on some things that we need to be doing through surveys and different things like that. So make sure you're going to our social media platforms and checking that out. Guys, I want to get right to this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your time. And hopefully I'll see you in a couple weeks at Breed Days in Greenville, Tennessee. Time to dump the box.
yeah, this is going to go. If we mention a blue tick, he just turns that down.
I'll just edit it out. I've got the abilities to do post editing and
Okay,
stuff.
good. We might say something dumb.
Yeah, I've only got one blue tick at the house right now. You got to have a blue tick in the truck. If you hunt out west, you got to have one. You got to have one.
That's what everybody tells me. The trailing's pretty tough, and they like the blue ticks. The trailing.
You know, the truth of it is I don't think there's a hill of difference. You know, if you get a good track dog, you got a good track dog. It doesn't matter what color they are, and they come in brindle just like they come in blue. Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
That's good. That's good.
I haven't seen one, but we've heard it happens like that.
I have seen them. Just like people say, I've never seen a good Plott. It's like, well, I can introduce you to some people that would have one.
Right.
Don't be looking in my box. Yeah, I think everything's pretty much ready to rock and roll here. So introduce everybody. Hi, we got David Williams. I know that name for sure, president of the APA. We're going to roll this podcast out so that it's a couple weeks. When you're listening to this, it should be within 2 weeks of the breed days. We're going to talk about that event. But we want to talk about the American Plott Association and what the organization is and what you guys do and stuff like that. So, David, introduce our guests.
Well, Chris, we've got some faithful followers here. We've got Chris Meinert here with us on the air, and we've got Nick Kruger, and they come out to most of the events we do and just jump in and help put things together. And we're all three and about 30 more, I think, just having a big time here at the Wisconsin Bear Hunter Convention.
Yeah. This is kind of I don't even know what chapter this is going to be for our podcast that we've recorded up here, but if you're a bear hunter, this is where it's at, especially this weekend.
Oh yeah, this is a big show. We've been coming up here for several years, and really enjoy seeing everybody. A lot of our members, we get new first-time members every year, and every year we get a good opportunity to upset some walker guys or somebody that walks by with a different breed shirt or something. You know, they're always good fun.
Do you run into any
Always
blue
good
tick
fun.
guys? Are there any blue tick people in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, there is. I know quite a few of them, and they brag them up pretty good. I'm not a fan, but that's just my way of life.
What about vehicles? What about a
Difference
guy
with
that drives a
vehicles?
Toyota?
I got some views on that, but I'm not fans of that.
Well, Chris's wife successfully put a blue tick man into a Go Hunt Plott shirt yesterday.
Is that right?
She sure did. She's converted at least one up here. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Well, my one of my co-hosts, Lauren Verani, she's got all blue ticks.
Okay.
So I haven't got her converted to try a Plott yet.
There's people that try them, people that do both.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of colorblind, I guess.
Some people are just slow learners.
I can say that.
You know, I mean, even when it's right in front of them, there's actually a theory behind that. It's a scientific theory called paradigm paralysis. You know, even when there is scientific evidence and clear proof in front of you, you refuse to change your position.
Right.
Yeah, I find so many people like that resist hunting with a Plott.
I've seen that. I've heard that. What I hear from the people that are the most naysayers about the breeds is it's really unfortunate some of the dogs that people let go of that they should have called. Those dogs get passed down because a dog owner doesn't have whatever it takes.
The skill?
To call
an
underqualified dog. So that dog gets sold, given away because somebody can't put it down. Well, then that dog gets traded, and then next thing you know, somebody pieced together a pack of those called dogs.
He'll make a good pack dog.
It fit their budget.
Right.
Well, then somebody's in heat, and you're breeding those dogs, and so yeah, there's a lot of places you can look. There's a bunch of duds.
Yeah. Oh, and every one. You know, I always tell people like this. I say, you know, it's like, I know back home, there's a lot of people that can work on a Chevy truck. I mean, Chevy was built for the ease of, I mean, you can interchange transmissions, you can change engines. I mean, you go to working on a Ford and it takes more of a skilled mechanic to work on a Ford. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
I agree with that.
Yeah. Same way with a Plott. I mean, anybody can, if a walker doesn't tree, you got a problem. But it takes a skilled houndsman to hunt Plotts. What do you think?
Nope. You just turn them loose. If they're bred right, they'll do it for about anybody. They'll fire off about every time, just like the old Chevrolet will. Hey, you don't have to wonder why they're missing either.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to be hitting on all 8.
Well,
we just had a good time up here. This is our favorite convention to come to. We go to the Tennessee Bear Hunter Convention also, but this one up here in Wisconsin, these guys are just great. Carl and the whole crew. I know Carl actually met him the first time hog hunting. But he invited us up, and we've been coming every year since. It's just, for anyone that hasn't been up here, there's not a convention like it. This is the big time. And that's like our event, our Breed Days event that we'll have this year in May. There's nothing like it when you're talking about the dog events. But on the convention like we're here at now, this is just great. If there's something you want to buy, something you want to see, somebody that owns a dog in the state, you're going to have that opportunity here this weekend. It's big time. So what we're going to have in May coming up, our annual Breed Days event.
May 14th and 15th, right?
Yep, Saturday and Sunday.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
We've pushed that back from our March date because our Tennessee COVID restrictions haven't quite loosened up to what we thought they should. So we're hoping by May they will. But we're already geared up for a big time. We've been ready for a year and 10 months for
That's
it.
right.
You know?
Yep.
So this is actually the easiest year we'll have with it because we pretty much already have everything. We just have to remember where we put it and get going. But we're really looking forward to that. These guys will make the big drive down there. Yep. And a whole bunch of people, man. There's not just Wisconsin, and we're up here. We're about central Wisconsin now, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got people from the north Wisconsin, the UP, from Maine. People come from everywhere.
Yeah,
Florida.
Big Mark Dufresne.
Oh, yeah. You can't beat that guy.
We got a fellow that comes from Canada every year.
Several.
Yeah. A few people from Canada come down. Mm-hmm. It's a big time. We have a good time.
And it's an event that just bear hunters show up. I mean,
man, that's it.
Bear hunters, hog hunters, you know, and you'll see every color and stripe of dog. The first Breed Days I went to, they had bays and there were mountain curs and everything in the bay pen and you know, so but it is the American Plott Association Breed Days. I mean, it is a hallmark event for big game hunters.
Yeah, and there's not another one like it, and that's what we were talking about earlier. We're not just filling up parking places with people coming to chase champion points for their dogs. You know, you'll see some great dogs, best ones in the country, and we just try to make different things for them to do. Just every different type of activity we could think of for a dog to do, we're going to do it at this time. They may not all be for everybody, but any dog there is going to have something to do. We're going to do a confirmation show, a UKC confirmation show this year. We haven't had one in a really long time. Didn't have much interest, so we just go with what people tell us they want to see. We do a few things that nobody mentions. We've got a year to think about what we're going to do from one to the next, and we come up with some really bad ideas sometimes.
The water races are really neat.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, yep. Water races are good.
Yep.
David come up with calls it the Plottathon.
Plottathlon.
Plottathlon.
Yeah. We threw a few extra letters in there we don't even need. So we'll take in that event we'll have dogs that swim, and the same dogs. We've done a couple different ways, but ultimately you don't even catch the dogs. So they'll run, they'll swim, and they'll bay all at the same time, or not the same time.
In the same race.
In the same race.
One after another.
Yep.
And then we just accumulate, score them at different stages along the way and accumulate those. And there's definitely nothing like that. We had a guy that I can't come up with his name. He writes a water race article for Full Cry. And he came out to our last breed days, 2019, and he'd seen it advertised, so he wanted to see how it was going to work. And he found me, and we were talking about it, and this guy knows everything there is to know about a water race. He's probably seen everyone that's ever swam.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, how do you feel this is going to go? I've never really seen this before. I said, well, I've never seen this before either. Nobody's ever seen this before either, so we can learn together how this is going to go. And it went great. Everybody just loved it. And it was we try to do things that flow good. If something's taking too much time, or there's a lot of standing around, or people are waiting, we're going to clean that right up. That's not going to happen again. And with that event, that's never been the case. It even somehow flows smooth. We probably put 20 people to work the thing, but it still, works great.
Right. What about the bear hunter relay that you did there for a year? Is that still going on? Where you had the race up the mountain and you got to do some skills. Did that
we never did it. We
didn't take off.
We never had the time to do it.
Oh, okay.
It sounded good. We were going to put some telemetry collars up on the big green mountain behind us and drag sacks, carry sacks around, weighted like, carry an injured dog. And the only way we're going to be able to do that, I'm all for it. We'll do it in May. Actually, if you say go now, we'll do it in May. But it's going to have to be a day all by itself.
Yeah.
Because with scheduling wise, it just doesn't fit. There's no way to make that something fast, and we can't ever. We keep everybody hopping from daylight till dark, and there's not another hour in a day. So we could huddle. Since you've reminded me about that, we've been promising for a couple of years we were going to figure out the timing. So
it's going to be tough to fit in with all the dog events.
That's
what happened.
Yeah.
We ran out of daylight, basically.
It'd have to be its own standalone day to really pull that off.
Well, for me, I mean, Eastern Tennessee, where the event takes place, that is, you talk about a historic breed of dogs. Came over here in 1750. No outside influence of French or French dogs. It's a purebred American dog. And where you have the event is like the cradle of bear hunting in the United States. Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, that Appalachian is the breadbasket for all things bear hunting. That's where it all came from. And so to be able to go back there for an event like the APA Breed Days and celebrate the Plott, but it's also a celebration of big game hunting in the United States.
And just the location, it's the funnel. Not just the area. Think about how many have been down just the driveway right in front of the building. So that road, if you keep on going, you're right at Barry Tarleton raised all those dogs, and
right.
Tracy and Ben Jones. You've got Chris Lowry right up there at Houston Valley. You're right there at it. You drive right by.
Yep.
Where our venue is to even get there. So people have been coming either over Viking Mountain or through however they choose to get there to get dogs for who knows how many dozens of years now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you go a little bit west and you get into North Carolina and Plott Balsam and the home places of the Plotts, and I mean, it's just, you can't say there isn't any place in the United States that has more rich history for bear hunting and a specific breed of dog. The Plott is the North Carolina state dog, and you can almost see North Carolina. But the setting you guys chose with the big lodge and the rolling hills, it's green that time of year, so it's beautiful. It's just a good setup.
Yeah, we've got a pretty big footprint. So we that was probably, as far as my time in office, that was our most controversial decision, was moving somewhere other than where we were in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So many. I think it's the only time I've ever really gotten hate mail. Boy, I got something too. If you move from here, the club's doomed. If you move from here, it'll never happen. Well, we all voted about it. There isn't any me making a decision. We voted, and that, I'm telling you, it's probably as close to 50-50 as there'd ever be. We might have even put it to I believe we put it to a membership vote. Maybe in a way that it was a suggestion, member feedback. We got membership feedback, and then we based our board of directors decision from there, and we came up with the majority in favor of moving. Well, then it's all right. Well, if we don't have 100 acres to fool with anymore, where are we going to do this?
Yeah.
And man, we looked at so many dozen places, and it's a little bit tight. There's room for improvement, maybe on the venue, but it's beautiful and it works great. We make it work.
It is tight in there. I don't think you could build another camper in place.
No.
On Plott on the breed days weekend. I mean, it's tight. I don't know how they get them in and out.
No, there'd have to be 2-story tents to have any more people staying there. Yeah, it wouldn't happen. And then as
long as they're not 2-story outhouses and we don't make it, that'd be bad.
We do have to go around to the water race and stuff. We have to go drive a little bit around the corner there.
Yeah.
But it works out because everybody follows along. So
right.
You can't have everything at one place, and we'd never get it all there.
So we'll see. I told the people that own the place we'll stay with them until they run us off, and they haven't offered to run us off. So it's just I tell you how we came up with where we wanted to be. What you said about the history is great, but we just looked at where our members are coming from, and we just pulled out the map and drew a big circle. I said we need to be right here where 40, 26, and 75 kind of come together, which is Knoxville or Johnson City, and that's pretty much right where we found the place.
Yeah.
It's great. So what we work on, trying to figure out who to try to keep happy, is our membership. We know who our hardcore supporters are and everything, and they so many more people. I'll never understand it. You get 2,000 people there, then at the end of the day or the end of the month, you're going back and looking, and you're making a mailing, and you've got 800 or 900 members. I don't know why the rest of them aren't, but we know who is and where they're coming from, and that's who we really want to make comfortable and work out with their scheduling and different things. So we'll see. Maybe the western part of Wisconsin, Carl and these guys have wanted us to try something up here for a number of years, and when do you do it? When do you come to Wisconsin when there's not snow? You got a small window, because when the weather gets nice, then everybody's ready to start baiting, their hunting spot.
Well, training season comes in up here July 1.
Yeah.
You're getting baits out, you're getting dogs in shape, you're doing all this stuff.
Yeah, there ain't a lot of time between winter and training season.
Yeah. So, tell me about the support base here in Wisconsin. Big bear hunting state, big great organization. What's your base like up here?
I tell you, we'd have to really count out individual members to see what state most of our members are in, and it's probably Wisconsin now. I know at one time it was North Carolina. Tennessee's not very far behind them, but seeing the numbers of people that renew their memberships and things here, those are definitely the top 3 states, I'd say, and Virginia and West Virginia aren't too far behind them. But that's Michigan, for whatever reason, we probably have half the numbers, probably a third of the numbers of members in Michigan as we do in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. But no, it's the we claim the best of the best is who makes the cut and who we have on our membership, and that's why it's so fun to drive up here. It's a long way, but man, getting to see all these folks. Some of them can't ever make it to breed days, but we get to see them up here, and it's a great time.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the association. How long's the APA been around? They
tell me it was 1986, and it's written somewhere as 1987. I was a little kid, so my memory doesn't apply. But the way I understand it, they started the club just to promote the original breed standard for the Plotts, which it varied some from the way it was originally written. So if you look at the club as only that, it's doing that pretty well. It I guess 2 years ago now, the UKC changed the breed standard back to pretty close to the original Plott standard. So some would say that was the whole reason the APA was in existence. At the time it was founded, that was probably the case. I think the club's evolved past that. From my perspective, I think really now it's more about promoting Plotts that hunt big game.
Right.
That's just the way I see it. Now we have a lot of members that all they do is conformation shows with their dogs, and we have several members that just coon hunt their dogs. So that's perfectly fine. Just what I notice when we go through the names and we see the people and what they do, we've got guys with just top level bear dogs is the majority of our membership, and seeing all those guys together in what's usually March, but this year will be in May. It's just you can't find all those people together anywhere else. It's just a great time.
Yeah. How many members does the APA have now? Approximate. What do you run a year?
We usually have about 800 members.
So it's not a big organization.
No, we just that's what it usually averages out to. I'm sure last year was way lower. We had no live events at all last year.
Right.
We didn't. We had we did a booth at the Tennessee Bear Hunter Convention, and we had some people renew several hundred, I'm sure, but not anything like we normally have. But what we do every year, our big thing is, other than just gathering people up, is the book we make every year.
The Brindle book.
The APA Brindle book. I'm really proud of it. I got conned into the job in 2011. I was asked if I would help put together the book. Well, I was big on helping with whatever, build a fence or build a book. Well, I don't know how, but sure. Well, then a newsletter later, that turned into, William's here. He's going to put the book together.
I remember that letter.
Yeah. Well, that was news to
I was
me,
like,
too.
Who's David Williams, and why is he putting a book together?
Yeah.
And he's from Tennessee.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was thinking. But so I spent a lot of time on that 2011 book, and I really like it just as well as anyone we've done. But taking the time to gather all that stuff up from the members and seeing what stories they have or what they say about their dogs they're raising, and the pictures that they put up. Man, some of those guys out west send in some pictures they ought to win awards for. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
And what I'm really proud of is we have the reality, just a really small group of people that put any effort into actually putting it together, not talking at all about the people that participate in sending material. But we have a extremely small number of people that actually put the book together. But we're so hands-on. I mean, picky as picky gets. And I guarantee I've got some commas wrong and some names probably not spelled right in there somewhere. But as far as the layout of the content, there's a lot of thought put into everything there is. And I'm kind of competitive by nature. So when we started this operation, I signed up with every club there is that puts out a book. I got them all. The Walker books and Blue Tick books, the Black and Tan book, the other Plott book. And the only thing I've ever found went through all of them trying to find something they're doing better than what we're doing, room for improvement. We don't send out a hardbound book. The Black and Tan and the Blue Tick clubs do. That makes it really nice, but that's the cost we just couldn't really justify.
Sure.
But as far as when you open that cover and get inside, there's not any comparison. So if your podcast are finding the people that everybody's heard of that breeds their dogs and talking about how they do it, or who's up on the front lines fighting for your hunting rights, that's what writes into us every year. And you put all this stuff together, and it's just great seeing all this stuff, and that's a lot of work. I wish somebody would say, hey, I wish I could help with one sometime. That's just never really going to happen.
Well, you just sealed the deal for anybody getting involved too. I just want you to know that.
There's no false hope. I live in reality here. There's no false hope.
You know, the thing about the APA, if you open up that Brindle book, it is a classic piece of history. Every single one that comes out is a classic piece of history for the Plott breed. But then you go back to the membership, like you were talking. When you look at the membership rolls, if there's a Plott guy out there that's a serious hunter, he's going to be listed in the back of that Brindle book.
Yeah.
Right.
His name is going to be there, and that's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, and we're proud of that. So we just try to spend that extra effort every year to make sure we're giving people stuff to be proud of. A couple of the books, some people probably weren't all that proud of. We've done the best we can. Some years we hit it better than others, you know.
Yeah.
But they and things are left out here and there, and we all feel bad when they are. It's an accident. It's, you know, we've poor old Dan Luke in Vermont. I have left his paid advertisement out, I think 2 years in a row, and that's somebody I'm familiar with. We talk on the phone every few months, and it's just random, completely random. But there's so we make adjustments and changes when anything like that comes up. We huddle about how to prevent this again. So we've got I guess you call them fail safes now. It may not be foolproof, but we improve things every year so that things can't be overlooked and forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably still will in other books that members too. It's you know, I probably won't see my name spelled the same way on 2 pages facing each other, but you know, we try not to have anything like that. And
you think some of that'll be payback for when you were in, some of it'll be payback for when you were doing the book by yourself.
Probably so. But this year, I'd say by breed days, our members that were signed up in 2020 will already have their book. They're printing at this time. This is we're in the end of March, and Tricia Butler, our director, put up this whole book together. Didn't have any help doing it. I was supposed to be the help. I pretty well failed on that. We were pretty preoccupied, but I looked through it before they printed. It's great. It's not going to have any. Well, we had one. I said we didn't do any. We had an event in Virginia last year that was before or after. I don't remember which. The hardest
June.
blow of the COVID restrictions, but
It was in June.
okay.
I went down for it.
We had the one event that we got pictured, you know, but we're missing pages that would normally go with stuff like that. But the content is just great. It's just I told her she did just a wonderful job. I can't wait for members to see it. Hopefully get it here in the next few weeks, and then we'll start making one for 2021. So far, we've probably got 200 members here in Wisconsin that are ready for one. They signed up the last couple of days.
Right. So let's talk about the things that how important is membership to you, and what can they do to, how can they become more involved? You know, this is your opportunity, David. I'm putting it out there. This is your opportunity to talk to a membership on a pretty broad base and hear your voice. You know, what sort of things do you need from the membership?
We need, if someone has an idea or something that's they feel pretty strongly about, man, it'd be nice if those guys would do this specific thing a different way. You need to tell us that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not jumping up and down and slapping somebody first, but just say, hey, why don't you guys do this? And everybody does, I feel like. There's some stuff I'm sure, you know, we don't hear, but we try to go with, at least consider every single thing brought up. But you have to have more of that. You have to have that constantly.
You need feedback from the membership.
Yeah, feedback not only about our operations, but the main thing to focus on is our book. That's what I feel like could get stale if people weren't trying as hard as they're trying to keep it refreshed every year.
Mm-hmm.
If half of our members, or really much smaller percentage than that, but we'll go with half. If half of our membership would share something with us for our book, man, they'd be bigger than anyone we've ever done.
Right.
There's so many interesting people that you just talk to here and there at a show or, you know, somewhere like this, and they brief you on they could have a real wild story, or, man, they could have raised one of the best dogs anybody's ever seen. It'd be so great to have something like that written down, and we could include it in our book. The hesitation I hear from people, well, I'm not a writer, not a professional photographer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of us are.
Right.
You know? But if you get something scratched in there, you know, there's people that get paid, that we pay, that do the book. For quite a few years, I was the one that did it, but now we've got people. It's part of the bill. We'll just get them something they can halfway make out, scribbled in blood on a napkin, and they'll type it up. You know, and we don't need any great professional layout work. You just send in some pictures, maybe a sketch of how you want an ad to look like, or if you send in a story. You know, we've had, not mentioning Rex Minor's name, but some people have taken paper and Elmer's glue and cut pictures into circles and stuck them on different pages and said, this is exactly how I want this to look. Hey, anything that gets the point across is fine. But that's the main thing that we need from a membership is help. We won't even say putting it together, but help
contribute
with material, you know.
Yeah.
And the people that do, you can't thank them enough. It's just great. It's always great stuff. And we look at, you know, there's been rare occasions people have sent in some hate mail about somebody else. We don't put that stuff in there.
Right.
We look over everything. We may have missed something here and there, but I just think somebody's got a really good story out there, or they've got a really good dog they might be shy to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We need to hear about those dogs.
Yeah.
And what everybody's got and what's doing good. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to, as far as their operations part of it, man, we need people that haven't ever served on the board of directors, haven't ever been any form of officer, nominated at our membership meeting to hold some form of office and help us make some decisions on this and that. You get, everybody in any type of volunteer clubs heard the same thing. We've done this for 20 years. We can't do it that way. Somebody will be mad. They're used to seeing it this way, and that's as far from the way I think as you can get.
Yeah.
If we've done something for 20 years, we're going to change it now. We shouldn't have been doing it this long.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's working, it doesn't matter. You got to change with the times. And maybe it's getting outdated having a book. I don't know. If somebody else has a great plan of something else to do, we'll do whatever that is. There's got to be something easier to put together than a book. Maybe I don't know. I
That's
don't know.
our best thing we got.
Maybe we'll make a movie every year. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Everybody loves our book.
It really is. I mean, it's a big hit. You can see it every year about this time of year. It's like, where's my Brindle book? You start seeing it on message boards and Facebook and, wherever. I haven't got my Brindle book yet. Is it out? No, it's another week out, and so, yeah, everybody looks forward to that for sure. For sure.
Well, we've talked about timing, so we've been blue in the face about it. We have to wait until the end of December to print the book, because you can sign up for membership all the way until the last day in December.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're entitled to book. So if we get the book done, what we always shoot for, you get the book done through the late summer into the fall. So best case scenario, the first day of January, you do that last page that has the membership roster. Then that's your mailing list, and you send it to print, and in a couple weeks you send it out. But here's reality. So when those things need to be proofed, we put all this together. Now, that comes to us in like September, October, November, December.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole board of directors is in the woods killing stuff during those months. So
there you go.
You've heard it first from me. That book is not a priority through the kill season in most of the country. So we'll get right back on it, but it does have a pause. And it would be great. Maybe if somebody that doesn't hunt anymore and really likes editing books wants to jump in there, man, we could turn one out quick.
Right.
We could have one out by the second week in January, but that's just the truth about how it really works. It takes...
Well, I see a golden opportunity here. At Breed Days, there are going to be several people there that are going to be there for that confirmation show that don't hunt their plots. We need to be recruiting out of that group.
Hey, I'm all
there you
for
go.
it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, we
won't turn anybody away. No,
Yeah.
Chris has done a great job with this year's book, but I think it's safe to say she won't touch another one. She's frustrated when I talk to her about the lack of the help, and it is frustrating. Maybe through the years I've just kind of accepted that you don't. It's just it's hard to get somebody to help you because you don't know what to tell anybody to do. I'll explain a little bit more. So I would say we're the only group that does it this way. The easy thing to do, was probably a lot more common to do, is you have a publishing company making the book. So what I'm positive other similar organizations do, is you just have the membership send the material straight to the place that's making the book.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a middleman. You don't have a club editorial committee or anything like that. So whatever gets sent in, it's sent in, and they make a book out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you open one of those books, and you have a 3-inch by 3-inch picture on a 8 by 10 white page, and you say, well, what happened here? What happened is you didn't have somebody that cared about what was going on with the book. You
Right.
had, a commercial process being completed. Well, we don't do it that way. We want to see what every page looks like, and boy, I'm sure they really don't like it when I even call them, but we're picky about how everything looks.
The APA is still, and plot hunters in general are still a tight-knit family of houndsmen. And you want a personal touch because you don't want somebody's story or somebody's hard work. Their life's work is going into this dog that they're sending you a story about, and you send it off to somebody that doesn't have any personal investment in that. And like you said, it's a commercial process. We produce your book, here it is. They're not concerned about, they don't know that guy in the picture. You do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good part about our organization is we're all friends, and our dogs brought us all together to hunt together. David comes up for my daughter's JDRF walk to do that. I mean, that's true friendship that we gained over a dog.
What's a JDRF walk? What is that?
Juvenile diabetes.
Okay.
My daughter's got diabetes. My
Yeah.
youngest daughter, which is not a good thing, but it's a great organization to support.
It shows
his what
Yep.
he does for us is come up here for that, which I don't have a lot of friends that do that, you know. And we did it off of a dog, you know, pure simple. I got more hunters there than we do other people on that little walk. I think the dogs brought us all together. I guess brought a great family, like you just brought up as made me think about that as the family that we are,
right?
Because of the dogs.
Yeah.
We know people from all over, and all stick together and brag about our dogs or whatever, just because it's fun.
Yeah, you guys sit around and brag a little bit.
Well,
brag about your dogs, brag about your hunts, you know, stuff like that.
It's more conversation, I guess, than bragging or whatever. It's nice to talk.
Yeah.
And when we hunt together, it's not my dog did this. It's look at what we did today. We had a good time today.
Yeah.
It wasn't this person's dog did this and your dog did something wrong. There's none for any of that.
Right.
We're all hunting and having a good time.
Yeah.
That's why I like the group that we are, I guess. I don't like bad mouthing.
So what I don't know what to ask now. I mean, you pretty much covered. It's just a great group of people that work good together and just want to get out there and get after it and have the best dogs they can to do that with, and then support each other. You know, and that's what I found in hounds. And Plotts aren't exclusive to that. I mean, I've seen it with other houndsmen before too. You know, local coon club. Somebody's family member has a serious medical condition, and you see these people just come together to raise thousands of dollars for their kids' medical condition or whatever it is, and patriotic people and stuff like that. But I think it's a pretty common thread among houndsmen is in general. You know, we work with a group called Freedom Hunters where we take veterans out hunting on hunting adventures and stuff, and houndsmen step up to the plate every time. You know, they step up and say, you know, they're patriotic. They want to be involved. So it's definitely a bond that's not easily broken. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. We just did our first, who did we get that kid from?
USSA.
Yeah.
United Special Sportsmen's Alliance.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just took a handicap kid this year.
Okay.
It was a
wheelchair.
blast. It was
that the Hunt of a Lifetime?
It's like the Hunt of a Lifetime, but it's not. Hunt of a Lifetime is a different organization.
That's not the one. I had a buddy that came from Idaho to participate in a hunt like that.
No, that wasn't ours.
Okay.
This was it's another organization. There's a lot of organizations that do the. There's the one doing the raffles down there right now for another. I can't think of the name of it right now, but special needs kids are raffling off guns right now, and all the money's going to them.
Yeah.
Which great. We were down there supporting that, and then we just had. So we'd done that, and I know David's taken some veterans and stuff like that. It to me that
it was fun.
Makes us more than dumb bear hunters.
Right.
It gives us a reason to go hunting.
You know, I think it's in our current situation, there are things that we need to be doing to secure the future of hunting with hounds. And when we make an investment in something bigger than ourselves, like, you know, kids with special needs, medical needs, whatever, or we invest back in our veterans, or, you know, coon hunters have raised millions of dollars for children's hospitals across the United States. Any time that we can invest ourselves in something like that outside of just our own special interests, then it secures our place and gives us a more credible voice in our community and society. It's so important. So important. And so does APA ever get involved with any legislative issues? Do you guys do any political stuff, or is it just promotion of the Plott Hound?
Well, according to the tax man, we can't directly, the way our organization's set up, we can't be directly involved in religious or political issues, things like that. What we do participate in is promoting the groups that do.
Mm-hmm.
So
just like being here.
Yeah, and we we advertise for free in our books or our social media sites wherever we can for the groups really trying to do a good job. Just getting to meet these guys from Hunters Nation, is that right, on the wolf deal?
Yeah, Hunters Nation.
Man, what a group those guys have done. So we'll donate whatever we can to them, advertise for them wherever we can. We'll get, we try to draw interest and support to all the different state bear hunting clubs to help them with their, with their season dates and their opportunities.
Yeah.
But as far as who we can actually write a check to, I can't give you the specifics now because I'm not really the one that knows all that. But the way I understand it, we can't directly give to those causes unless we changed around some things with the.
You can't march on. You can't go to the state capitol and lobby and do things like that. You're a 501c3. 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're probably a little more restrictive than a 3 because a 3 is no more than a reasonable amount of political activity, and then as you go down the line, it starts tightening up a little bit in different parts. So,
but see, Carl up here, Sotel, he's been helping Sarah and I in this last year, do some things different. We're kind of maxing out the limitations of our current setup, and he's just man, that guy's great at everything he does. He hooked us up with I don't know if it's the Wisconsin Bear Hunters accountant or somebody he worked with his personal job, but he had some good solutions for us and a way to adjust the club in a way that we could give directly to the whatever we felt like we wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes some time and some money to do it. But he seemed to be a good resource for guidance on how to even go about that.
Well, I think there are, like we've already said, you got groups like Sportsman's Alliance, you got Hunter Nation. There's groups set up out there that are that's their sole function, to do that. And so these groups like yours just need to support those people.
I tell you, I think the groups like that Hunter Nation, I don't know that guy's name. I never met him, never even seen their sign before yesterday. But a place like so this Hunter Nation, they're the ones that sued Wisconsin and made them have a wolf season.
Right.
This is all information I'm getting over the last 2 days. So it was legal to do, but yet the DNR didn't make a season. Mm-hmm. So the Hunter Nation, I don't know on what behalf, but either way, through a lawsuit pretty quick, they said, all right, well, this is been voted on, so you have to have a season and have it now. So boom, they got a season. They killed 200 and something wolves. It's the best thing that you could have done for people that turn a dog loose after anything in the whole state. Groups like that,
mm-hmm.
to me, are there's not that many of them that are really aggressive. An aggressive group, not somebody just sitting back saying, well, yeah, send us in a membership. We'll send you this, and just don't worry, we've got you back. I see the guys that just jump out there. They've got somebody's face, not somebody's back. They're making things happen.
Yeah.
That just fits my style. I like if you're going to do something, make sure somebody knows you're doing it. I mean, just do it.
So what kind of plots you hunt? Gritty plots? A lot of grit?
Yeah, we got rough dogs, but we're going to talk about our dogs. I like the trail dogs, but no, the males will be rough, and they get rough.
Yeah.
But that's just I think that's about any of them. You should have that.
Yeah. Well, any closing thoughts? What's the APA mean to you?
Mean to me?
Yeah.
Just like you said, it's just a great group of people, and everybody's buddies and hunting buddies, and just great people.
It's just like one big utopia, kumbaya.
Pretty much for bear hunting.
Yeah, David never gets any dissension, never any disagreements in the APA. It's all lollipops and rainbows, right?
The last hours went real smooth.
Chris, what's the APA mean to you?
That's a big family fun.
Yeah.
My kids and my wife being involved in it, being the treasurer, it's been a great thing for all of us because just brought us all together with a whole larger group of people.
Made a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've researched the Plott breed since I've been a kid. My dad did, and we got into it when I was a little kid and started researching it and followed it all the way through. And we had friends in it, and now we have a whole vast more variety of friends and family, or consider them family. Cause
what's your dad's name?
Rex Minert.
Yeah, Rex Minert. I've seen his ads in the Brindle book before.
That's the ones he's talking about, that he's got to have them right to the T.
Yeah.
It's how he makes his page, and he wants it to look like that when it comes out. And he's pretty fussy. We've been taking over some of his pictures because Ma's been a little rough with the camera. So
yeah.
So my wife's been putting her own pictures in place of the ones Dad puts in. So just to help out with that. But yeah, it's been a lot of years of fun.
That's good. That's good. David, you got any closing thoughts about anything?
I appreciate what you do, highlighting these different things and coming up here and talking to the different people that have taken the time and the expense to come out to the Wisconsin convention and all the other places you travel. I think this is just another great channel to get stuff out there. Not everybody reads the magazines, and not everybody's web surfing, and I don't think anybody believes anything that's on a news channel. So just listen to this. I think you're getting a lot of good information out there, and I like it.
Yeah, that's the best thing about producing the podcast is, being able to go out and meet different people, and you always find that common thread among houndsmen. And I've been fortunate and blessed and been able and a good wife that supports me, and I mean, I've had plots in Arizona this last year, where I've been in Arizona, Montana, Idaho, hunted in Texas and Louisiana. I mean, I've been all over and meeting people all along the way. So, yeah, I applaud you, David, on all your hard work, your dedication to the APA and its membership. We've had talks off the air. I know that you care deeply about your membership and your organization, and you do want to hear from people, and if you got an idea out there, kick it out there, but don't be surprised if you say, hey, what'd you tell me yesterday? If you come up with an idea,
just do it. You'll have my full support.
There you go. Yeah.
No, that's great. I appreciate you having us on, and I think I think this could be a good opportunity with your podcast to talk to all kinds of different Plott guys and just people for the hunting rights in general. But on our end, what I feel like be the most proud of our association is how much better today. I like to give our whole organization credit for being the cause. I feel like the quality of Plott dogs that you see today is higher than it has ever been. I think it improves every year.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't believe a word I say if that's their choice, but that's just what I see. Because if I think it's common sense. If you're in the way years ago, you're reading in magazine, you're writing letters to try to get to breed to somebody's dog. Man, now you see what people have. You can meet people so easy. You can get to people so easy. Then the different events we put on to have everybody have a good time. Think about how many dogs are, how many crosses wouldn't have happened if somebody hadn't met the other guy.
Right.
That's the whole. Every dog we have is from breeding dogs of people we met at APA events. The dogs are way better than they were before we started going.
Right.
I think a large majority of everybody's just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what makes it worth doing for me.
Well, I appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Everybody needs to come out to tell us where Breed Days is. We didn't exactly narrow that down.
It's in Greenville, Tennessee. Just go like you're going to Ben Jones's house and hang a left, after you're getting it into the straightaway.
All right.
But if you haven't been there, it's 265 Camp Joshua Lane, Greenville, Tennessee. It's going to be the 14th and 15th of May. You can stay somewhere in Greenville, Tennessee. If you Google you up something, and about 15 minutes from town, we'll even feed you dinner when you come.
That's right. I mean, it really is. It's like a rendezvous. There's always a fire in the big fireplace there in the evenings, and people hanging around and telling hunting stories. It's truly an event for somebody that loves hounds. It really is. So, guys, we got a way we close these out the same way every time. I enjoyed talking to you. Hope I get to see you in Greenville. But until then, you follow your hounds and I'll follow mine.
That sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you.